So what do we do to make sure that that doesn't get lost?
All right, everybody.
All right.
Well, we are here today for the 5th episode of the 5 City Podcast.
5 City.
And we have some cool
Makes sense.
stuff to talk to you guys about today.
Yeah.
A little bit of new stuff going on just in
Right.
general life. And then we have a recap of the UFC event that just took place, as
Yep.
well as Formula One happened this weekend.
Yeah,
we
a
also
couple,
had...
couple actually Grand Prix since
Yeah.
we've done the podcast. So we've had the first and the second one. So
Yeah,
we'll definitely go over that.
Definitely
for
some
sure.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Today's definitely, which today being as in Sunday.
Today's Sunday. Hopefully even maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. But
Okay.
hopefully tomorrow.
So this is 1 to 2 days before
Yep.
you guys are seeing it. Today's race had a really interesting ending.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, but also
Definitely.
we had a little bit of some PGA Tour action going on this weekend,
Yep.
which was WGC Dell match play.
Okay.
We'll definitely get into that a little bit.
Absolutely.
And
Dude, fucking speaking of golf, like I just gotta like talk, dude. Like
dude,
we've been getting
you want to just start with that? Honestly?
yeah, like honestly,
It's-
like dude, I don't even need a laptop.
Oof.
We've been getting I'll just preface, we've been getting the craziest deals.
deals on deals.
Like, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. You know what? So, I'll start with the first. So there's a store by our house called Golf Galaxy. They have a used club section.
They're nationwide too.
Nationwide,
I'm sure.
yeah. They're owned by Dick's.
Yeah.
By our house, whatever. But yeah, so they have a used club section. We frequent the store just to check out used clubs and whatnot. And yeah, there were some pretty good deals we found there this past week.
Yeah.
Starting, so it was kind of funny story. Like
Not even the week, just like honestly, the past month we've kind of just bought clubs.
Yeah.
A lot
But
of
like
clubs.
it's like we're gonna tell you all the things we bought, and it's like it's gonna sound like we spent like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, we'll
and
give you
it's
the
like,
prices at the end
It's
of
like
each.
crazy. Yeah. So, okay, yeah. So we were pulling into Golf Galaxy, and I mentioned to Joe, I was like, man, I could use a new iron set in the next couple of years or whatever. Walk in, Callaway X18s, used club set. Pick those up. Well, we decided we'll tell you the prices after. So I got a
4 through pitching wedges.
4
raw.
through pitching wedge. Yep. So that's 8 clubs.
Yep.
Well, and I got the 5 wood. I got a matching 5 wood that was also available part of the set, but it was in a different part.
Make 8.
Yeah, to make 8. Yeah, I was hitting the irons in the simulator, and you ran over. Yo, you want the 5 wood? I was like, yep. Dude, go ahead.
I mean, price was $63 with the 10% off going on Saturdays or Fridays or whatever
Yep.
day it was for used clubs.
Crazy.
And
Iron set for $63.
I mean,
I don't.
condition wise, I mean, why don't you honestly?
We can like. Yeah. Yep. It's like it's really good. I don't know. Like I don't understand why they were $63, but yeah. I hope there's no.
Didn't look terrible.
No, well, yeah. Hopefully it was in focus, honestly. But like either way, dude.
The idea, dude.
Like-
you can't get.
like, I don't
anything
know.
for $60.
I would. That's what we were saying. It's like that many clubs should be at least like $100. You know what I mean? No matter like if they're dog and they're not dog shit. Like they seem like pretty nice clubs.
They're also selling online for $300 to $450 in the condition that they are in now.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know. Maybe they weren't selling. Maybe he was saying like maybe they weren't selling in another location, so they shipped them here and they just marked them down crazy. I don't know. We were also saying that it was definitely not out on the shelf for more than 24 hours.
No, there's no way.
There's no way.
But
Someone would have bought them. Whatever. You also got a nice club. Fucking.
I've gotten
recently.
a few
Oh,
nice
a
clubs,
few,
but
actually.
there's
I'm
one
sorry.
more that's definitely that you got that we can't forget to mention.
Oh right. Well, actually two. Now that I'm thinking about it,
2 more.
2 more.
The one that was on my mind was an Odyssey blade putter
Yep.
with the head cover for $20. Same thing, used club.
Bean bobs, dude.
And yeah, and it's got a nice Super Stroke fat grip, and it's got the TaylorMade logo on it too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
So,
that was cool. No, that was a good
pretty
find.
sweet. Pretty
That was
sweet.
on
$20
Letgo, actually.
Yep,
Right?
we'll offer up whatever it is now.
Yeah, whatever. One of those sites.
Scroll through, look at cheap clubs every once in a while. That was such a good
Yeah.
deal. $20, can't pass it up.
Yep.
Buddy who sold it too, he like just got out of his car, handed it to us, and gave us a head nod, fist bump, didn't say a
Didn't
word,
say a
and
word.
we
I
left.
said, "Hey man, how you doing?" Nothing. Handed me the club. Handed him $20 cash and gave him a fist bump, and we went on our way.
Yep.
And hopefully he was happy with $20 because I felt like I got a steal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then so one other addition, you were at Golf Galaxy without me actually, and you saw a TaylorMade burner 3-wood, which actually matches my driver. So I had you pick that up. That was like what, $30?
$30.
$30, not bad. I needed a 3-wood anyway. I didn't have one, so that was definitely good. I feel like I just like we just got like very, very upgraded bags for this year.
100% compared to what we were working with last year.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Just getting into some of the stuff that I got.
Dude.
I mean, we'll start really. The only thing I haven't changed is the irons, so I'll say that I'm still using the same Wilson Pro Staff irons.
I was gonna say you have like your irons are like, I like your like I've swung
they
your
work.
irons.
They
like
work.
you were like, dude, I like them.
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Driver. I used to use a Nike VR S driver that I did like, but I cracked it. Picked up a Nike Vapor Pro driver, which is the same driver that Rory was using, but I ended up picking it up for $90. I just had to get it reshafted, so essentially I just bought the club head for $90.
Yep.
Not a bad deal.
Because that's really all like
it's like a $300 club.
You buy
$200 club.
Not all you're paying for, but like isn't that like kind of like you're paying for mostly the club head when you buy a club? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
like
it just it depends because I mean, 100% because if you were to every Tour Pro on there has like some of the like. I mean, are we talking pros or amateurs?
I didn't mean like you think so. Like I just meant more of like a
it depends what club you're talking. Like a TaylorMade RBZ 3-wood, yeah, the shaft's nothing special.
Yeah,
it's the head you're paying for. But when you get into like a TaylorMade Stealth driver with a Ventus shaft, like okay, then your shaft that was more the cost of my driver.
Exactly.
It does have an influence because like you do need to care about like the flex of your driver,
for sure,
stuff like that. But I don't know. Shaft does matter to an extent, but
how much would like a very nice shaft cost compared to a driver head?
I mean, you can get you can get a new shaft for anywhere from $100 to $500.
Yeah,
it depends. It also depends what you're looking for. I mean, there's some people who will reshaft drivers when they're trying to do long driving competitions and they want like a much longer driver, maybe with a little bit more whip or a little stiffer because they have to swing that club so fast.
Yeah.
But either way,
interesting.
Yeah. But
so back to your driver though.
Okay, back to the driver. So actually that is the driver, just the Nike Vapor Pro.
Fire.
After that,
fire. Awesome sound.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It
sounds awesome.
Hitting some missiles with it. I like that club.
Yep.
After that, we're gonna have a Callaway X Hot 2015 3-wood. That's a nice club. Definitely like it. Played it a little bit last year, but it's still a used club from Golf Galaxy, so that's why I'm mentioning it.
It's still like new. You know
it's still new. I only played it like 2 rounds last year, 3 rounds. So the newest addition being a Callaway XR Steelhead 4 hybrid, which I love. Going to be my newest confidence club off the tee box when I have a nice type par 4.
Yep.
It's going to be anytime that I need to hit the ball between 180 to 240 yards, I'm going to be pulling that club out for sure. Very excited about that.
Little fairway finder. Hybrids are tough to hit, but I feel like we both hit hybrids pretty well, honestly. Like they're like more of a comfortable club.
A hybrid's easier to hit than the 4 iron or 5 iron.
Exactly.
That's why they made them.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
like I don't know. We both definitely are nice with the hybrid. I'm ready for that.
I do like the hybrids. I like the hybrids a lot.
Other than that, new clubs. I did pick up a Huntington Beach soft milled face blade putter from Cleveland. That was originally a $150 club. Picked it up for $50 with the nice fat grip on it. Which wasn't supposed to say prices yet, but that's that. So saved about $100 on that.
Yep.
Picked up 2 wedges, a 60 and a 56, both Cleveland. Both used clubs. I would say condition anywhere between a 7 and an 8. And craziest thing, similar to his iron set, I got the 60-degree oil can wedge for $10.
It's nuts.
You got to go check out this place. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
But
I just feel like a used golf section, like especially at a store that's like pretty popular, like if you're looking for clubs, like frequent that place because like you'll definitely find steals.
I mean, even if you're not because you think clubs are super expensive, just check it out.
Yeah.
The putter, like I said, $50, originally $150. The putter looks brand fucking new. It's like 10 out of 10 condition.
Mm-hmm.
Love the putter. Wedges, $10 and $25. Probably, like I said, between 7 and 8 in condition.
Yep.
The 3-wood, $65, and driver, $100, like just under 100.
Yep.
And the 4 hybrid, $55. And these are all like the 4 hybrid looks brand new too. So That's like $150 club. Save some money.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, golf on the surface is like a super expensive sport, but if you like kind of like we've been doing, like kind of just like be constantly looking for different things, and like you'll definitely see some deals, and like we've been joking, like golf's a rich man sport if you want it to be.
Yeah, if you
Like,
want it to be.
if you
that's all
want
it is.
if you want to buy a $50 box of balls, and it's not even like a rich man sport in the sense that like, oh, like you're gonna go golf a nice course for $60, but it's like you can save all your like a lot of money on clubs by buying nice used clubs. You can save a lot of money on balls by buying like Callaway Warbirds for $16. Like that's what I do. I don't know. You can definitely make golf very affordable.
100%.
I think that's
Definitely something everyone should try out.
yeah, definitely.
All right, and getting back to it, we have some Formula One for you because
Yep.
there's been 2 races.
I was gonna say we've missed a little bit.
Yeah, we missed the first race of the year, which we're going to cover, which was Bahrain.
Yep.
And we also have the Saudi Arabia GP, which got a little interesting, to say the least. But we'll start off with Bahrain.
Yep.
Which, I mean, just to say what I was, like, the quick thoughts on it, it was awesome to start off F1 in Bahrain, get
Yep.
stuff rolling, see how some of the new teams were performing
Yep.
and the new cars. Not
Yeah.
new teams, but new drivers on teams and the
Right,
new
exactly.
cars. And
It was
I mean,
definitely
there was definitely some interesting stuff going on.
definitely a new era for Formula One. Like you said, it was definitely interesting to see like how the new regulations played out. Like there's a lot of teams like Haas and Alfa Romeo that like are finishing in the top 10 now. And,
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
awesome.
not even close. Like we're in, like Alfa Romeo, for example, was literally like 9th and 10th, like competing with Williams, like horrible. You know what I mean? They had a driver upgrade with Bottas.
That's what
obviously.
it'll do for you, Valtteri. That's
But
what
yeah,
it'll do.
exactly, dude. He's most underrated for sure. He's awesome. Had an unfortunate mechanical failure today. Didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
But so we'll get to that though for sure. So yeah, Bahrain definitely showed the changes that the new regulations are making. Like I said, with different teams definitely being in the mix. A big story is that Mercedes is just not the top team this year. Yep. I don't know. It's definitely the new car. A lot of people are saying that like since they had to spend so much time last year with the world title fight, they didn't have enough. They didn't spend enough time or spend as much time as other teams delegating to producing next year's car. Like Ferrari, a reason that Ferrari is really good this year. That's what I was going to move into. Is that Ferrari is the team really. Ferrari and Red Bull is the main fight. A reason that Ferrari is so good is because last year they really early switched focus on building their car for the 2022 season because it was a totally different car.
More time.
New regulations, right? They had more time, exactly. So that's a main reason why I think and why a lot of people are saying that like Mercedes just isn't doing as good this year. But that's not affecting Red Bull either. Red Bull has it down. So I don't know, but yeah. Like I said, go ahead.
Real quick though, back to Valtteri Bottas coming to Alfa Romeo. It's just kind of cool to see something like that happen.
Yep.
And see him finishing in positions far better than
Right, exactly.
you've seen Alfa place before, and that's what happens when you got somebody who's behind Lewis Hamilton, who's like a generational talent in the sport. He's gonna get outshined, but that's not to say that he's not phenomenal at what he does.
There was a reason, like you can't have a super dominant team without having an extremely solid number 2 driver. You know what I mean? That can play
100%.
defense for Lewis and
Still get you
put him-
points.
right, exactly. And like a big thing about Valtteri is like he doesn't crash the car. Like he doesn't like get in a lot of accidents. Like and that like doesn't play in his favor a lot of times because he's a lot of the times he's pretty passive.
It means he's
like,
defensive, yeah. He's
right,
not,
exactly. He's not like really looking
no
for
Max
like, crazy.
Verstappen.
Right, he's like almost the opposite, where he's like not gonna crash the car a lot of the time. Not that Max crashes often, but he's just like kind of plays it more safe, and he's just a really solid driver.
Yeah, but it goes back to kind of like that. I don't want to say age old question or whatever the saying goes.
Age old question.
Age old question of would you rather have your driver be a hero trying to win the race and crash the car,
Right, or finish
in P7, P10?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And like,
I'd rather have a hero who's trying.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it does cost a lot of money when these guys crash these cars,
I
which
know.
could also affect your team when you have a team like Williams or
dude,
like just like a lower level team where you just don't have that much money.
speaking of that, Latifi for Williams this weekend crashed yesterday and today.
Cost a couple bucks.
Couple bucks, man.
Cost a
Fuck.
couple bucks.
Dude, that's bad. Like, that's a lot of money, but not hating on him, just saying.
Hate to see that.
So, yeah, I mean, getting back to Bahrain, in qualifying, looked like it honestly looked like Red Bull was going to be the fastest team. We said that Ferrari's the most dominant team, but that's after watching 2 races. That's very apparent. Very apparent. But Red Bull looked like they were going to be the fastest team in qualifying. Mercedes obviously was not there, and we got shocked kind of in the race. Like it was who? Yes, exactly. So Leclerc went fastest in qualifying. And then him and Max is going to be like the craziest battle to watch. Like if you thought like last year was crazy with like Lewis and everything like that, the reason that Max and Charles Leclerc is going to be even better is because they both like are that type of driver that doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like they're going to like just do the riskier things that Lewis would call like dangerous driving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they've been racing against each other since karting. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit, honestly. But okay, so moving on to the race. Okay. Ferrari got the 1-2. So
that's points, Ferrari.
That's a lot of points. And now even after the second race, they're still first and second in the drivers' championship. Ferrari had a 1-2. It's their first 1-2 since 2019. And not taking anything away from Ferrari, they're obviously a very strong team contending for the championship this year. It would have been a Ferrari 1-3. Max had it was like, hold on, I screenshotted a bunch of different things about what people were saying about the problems that Red Bull had, but it had something to do with like the engine fluid or something like that. So it was in Bahrain, 3 out of the 4 Red Bull engines, including AlphaTauri, had problems. They had to retire because of mechanical failures.
I remember that. This was 2 weeks ago.
This was 2 weeks ago.
I remember
so we're backtracking a little bit.
And also, just frame of reference as well, guys. I know in the past videos, if you've been watching along, you may have heard me say that I'm going to start following Red Bull just for the fact that Jared's a Red Bull fan. And being as we live together and can watch everything together, and I don't know nearly as much as him about F1, it would be a little easier. Yep. Going to throw a little bit of a 180 at you guys, and I think I'm going to go with my initial team, which was last year. He is my witness.
I can
one
attest.
of our other friends as our witness. I was a Ferrari fan. I was trying to follow them as best I could.
Yep.
And this year, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, you guys are my guys.
Because you did, like you said, last year.
Before they were placing P1 and 2.
Right, exactly. When they
Bahrain
were struggling last year,
so.
you were
still
following Ferrari. Definitely a Ferrari fan. That was when you first got introduced to the sport. You definitely liked Ferrari,
100%.
and still did, even like when you were like a Red Bull guy. You know what I mean? You always liked Ferrari. So like,
doesn't mean I'll be rooting against Max Verstappen. Maybe sometimes I'll have to root against Red Bull, but never against Max Verstappen. Number one.
Number one. That's the thing about F1 too, is that like these drivers, like I feel like everyone's just so likable. Like I don't really like hate it. Like I don't know, like Lewis is kind of annoying sometimes. Like other guys are kind of annoying, but like I don't like have a reason to like hate really anybody. Like they're all like even if like you think there's some beef between like these two drivers, like there's really not. Like Max and Lewis were like talking like before the first race, like fucking like shaking hands.
I saw them give fist bumps.
Yeah. Like it's never really that serious, and like it's just hard not to like some of the drivers that like even if like you said, like even if you don't really like their team, like you can still like them. Like I don't like Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, like they're awesome people, like they're hilarious.
Yeah, we watched a video of Carlos Sainz golfing with Ian Poulter, and it was awesome.
It was
so funny.
Yeah, it was so
Carlos
funny.
Sainz is a funny ass dude.
Right. Yeah.
Smooth operator.
Smooth operator. Right. Am I smooth or am I smooth?
Awesome.
It's so funny. Okay. Yeah. So, Ferrari.
Speaking of golf and Ferrari, though, with Carlos Sainz, there's rumors of last weekend. Last week, throughout the week, all the F1 guys, drivers went out golfing, and somehow Charles Leclerc crashed a golf cart.
I did.
Continue.
No. Continue. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I saw.
It's kind of funny.
We saw a tweet.
Driver in the world, you drive for Ferrari, like other than Max Verstappen.
Wrecking a golf cart.
Yeah, you wrecked a golf cart somehow. If that comes up true.
I was gonna say it was not like confirmed by anything.
I don't know where
like,
we haven't validated it or anything.
It was just a funny story. Like it's just you can just imagine like
funny.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like they're literally the best people in the world. It's something that everybody does every day. Driving. Like
it's crazy.
But yeah, so Ferrari, getting back to it a little bit, Ferrari coming out of Bahrain really seemed like the strongest team. Red Bull kind of had some powertrain questions because of their engines and whatnot and whatever problems that they had. So yeah, they had 2 DNFs. Moving on to Saudi Arabia. That was obviously this weekend. Things got a little
odd. Yeah.
So during the first practice, FP1, late, just as the practice was ending, there was some attack on the
By some rebels.
yes, by some rebels or some, I don't know.
Some rebel military group.
Yeah, it was some some terrorist attack or whatever, whatever you want to call it. But it was on the Aramco Oil Company's building, and it was like some oil supply, and it was
Big sponsor of the race.
right. It was like 16 kilometers from the.
No, it was 9 kilometers, and if 5K is roughly 3 miles, then I was like, it's got to be 6 miles away.
Yeah. Okay. So super.
You
close.
could see it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
clear as day, 'cause there's
Like,
not like
there was,
trees and buildings around this
No,
track.
no.
Like you could see this plume of smoke.
right,
It was
and-
pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so right, exactly. So that happened while the FP1 was going on or ending, and they still decided to continue with the race. There was extensive driver meetings from what I saw, like on Twitter and whatnot. And they said that the drivers had the opportunity to like not race if they wanted to. And then something kind of weird.
Yeah, what
came
happens
out.
if we don't race?
So I'm just scrolling through. We tweeted it. I'm just scrolling through just because I want to get the exact.
Because it's crazy. You're going to want to.
It's crazy.
This
So
needs to be a direct quote.
this was part of like some statement that F1 released or something like that. It says, but eventually they were convinced to go ahead and race after being given further information by F1 bosses. Part of this information involved the possible consequences of not racing, such as how easily teams and drivers would be able to leave the country if the race did not happen.
Think about that.
What does that mean?
I know. I'll tell you what I interpret it as, which is, you guys don't race. Good luck leaving,
Like,
which is kind of scary.
This is not 100% verified for sure. It's just like a screenshot.
No,
or something.
but-
but
That's what I'm interpreting it as.
if that's really true, like, wow.
It'll be interesting to see if they continue to race there.
Yes, exactly.
It's already the drivers think it's a dangerous track. They don't
It is,
really
like-
prefer to race there. I don't think they really like racing there.
Well, so
It's just
I don't know. So they made a lot of changes to the track. It's still bad though. Like last year, there was a lot of corners where like there was blind corners, blind apexes, corners where they would be coming around and they couldn't see if a car was on the other side, if like a car stalled out or like not stalled out, but like broke down. You know what I mean? It's very dangerous. And it's except for Monza, it's the highest speed track, and it's a street circuit. Nice. Yeah, no, it's a dangerous track for sure. There was plenty of crashes this weekend, as well as last year. I doubt they come back, but they also could come back for the same reason that they decided to race this weekend, is because they probably get paid a lot of money to race there.
for sure. I mean,
You know what I
it's
mean?
got to come down to money at the end of the day.
I don't see any
that's the
other
only thing.
reason why they would have felt obligated to stay there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Besides that. So I don't know. That was definitely interesting. But yeah, if I had to predict, if you like you were asking me, I don't think they'll race there next year.
It'll be
wouldn't.
definitely interesting to
but-
see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I feel like there's definitely many other factors that play into that decision that we don't even know about. But
As for how the race actually ended up finishing out, we had a first place finish from the one and only Max Verstappen with Red Bull, and then we had a number 2 finish from Charles Leclerc, who managed to close a pretty significant gap during the warning lap,
That was
which was
sketchy.
it was on the last lap.
yeah, yep.
And you can hear Max on the radio say, like, how did he close this gap? That's so unfair.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, realistically, even as a Ferrari fan, it is a little odd how Leclerc is able to really close that gap when there's
Right.
restrictions.
Safety car,
Yeah.
no overtaking.
It's a little
It's
odd,
weird. It
but
is definitely weird.
It was good to see Ferrari take the 2 and 3 position today,
Right.
with Leclerc taking second and Sainz taking third. So seeing
Yep.
two your drivers, like your 2 drivers on pole position at the end of the day, it's always good to see. So,
really big points
Points,
for
yeah.
Ferrari.
Points.
They're still 1 and 2 Leclerc signs for the drivers' championship. As far as other finishes, obviously it was great to see Max get first.
yeah, I would have loved to have seen Leclerc win though, because Leclerc's never won.
He's never won when he didn't start from pole,
Yes,
so that would have been cool. If he
he's
was
never
Ferrari.
won.
He's never won. He won last week.
Finish your thoughts, my friend.
So another kind of notable story from this weekend, Sergio Perez, he qualified first, has never taken a pole in Formula One, whether it's qualifying or the race. So that was huge for him. It was huge. He's never just really had the opportunity to be in a car that can contend for that position. You know what I mean? But he started off in first this this race today. And it was pretty unfortunate, honestly. He came in for his early pit stop. And he was down I think he was down to 5th place. And if you don't know, like, so you pit, right, and you lose the position, but now all those people in front of you have to pit, so you'll end up getting that back. Unfortunate for Sergio Perez, right after he pitted, there was a safety car, there was a crash, so everyone got a free pit stop and got to keep their positions under the safety car. So he got totally screwed. He was in 1st, dropped back down to 5th, had new tires, then everyone got a free pit stop, so everyone in front of him, 4 guys in front of him, had new tires as well for free. Nothing lost, you know what I mean? No positions lost or anything. So unfortunate for him, he finished 4th.
Because the pit would have been strategic had that warning lap not come out.
Right, exactly. And another thing about this circuit, Jeddah is the name of the circuit, it's super hard to overtake. So if you start first, you get a big lead. It's unlikely, unless there's like safety cars or other unfortunate incidents like this, it's unlikely that if you have a big enough lead and you're in first, you're going to get overtaken, because like I said, it's just, there's like 2 places that you can overtake, you know what I mean? It's on both DRS straights. So
yeah,
that,
that's why at the end of the race too, like the announcers were just like, this is one of the 2 chances he's gonna have, and he didn't get it, and then last chance Max really just pulled away.
Yep, that's been the battle for Max and Charles, is getting the DRS so they can pass at the most strategic time, right?
Charles had some crazy driving.
Right, so Bahrain, he did get the best of Max. He waited, probably came, he either broke early, came onto the throttle late, whatever, let Max pass him so he could get the DRS. Well, I'm sorry, so Max passed him, right, got the DRS behind him, Max passed him around the first corner, and then Charles waited to get the DRS in the second zone, passed him, and then obviously kept that for the end of the race. And Max kind of did the same little thing. He played the same little game today, and I think that's what we're going to see between those two, is that game, that little DRS game that they play, who can get it at the most strategic time so they can hold on to that first place position, and then obviously build the lead and finish the race
for sure
under first, because the cars are such evenly matched that, like, Red Bull has them in straight line speed, but Ferrari has better downforce. There's just a bunch of other things, and they're so evenly matched that they're going to have to find other ways to kind of win than just having a better car, being the better driver. You know what I mean? Everything's really equal.
For sure. I mean, if that wraps up F1,
yep, then
I think what we're going to be moving on to next is going to be, we had some UFC fights this weekend.
Yes, sir. And last weekend, actually,
and
too, that we didn't talk about. Start last weekend, we can just kind of like run through that quick. I got a couple things written down. Just
let's start with last weekend.
It was UFC London.
Yeah, that was the Paddy Pimblett fight.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that was awesome. It was awesome to see UFC back in London. Anybody who lives in London was, I'm sure, ecstatic to go to a UFC fight or have the chance to. Just starting there. They also have some really big names that are starting to come out of that area, like people who are on this card: Tom Aspinall, Paddy Pimblett, Molly McCann. There's also like Leon Edwards, who's going to be fighting Kamaru Usman soon. There's a lot of really good fighters coming out of the London area. But yeah, I guess we can start. I do have few notes. What's that? Dude.
Oh my God.
Okay, one weird thing about the UFC London card. If you Google UFC London,
it gives you 2020.
It's not even 2020. It's the last UFC London, which was like UFC 171, like years and years ago. It's weird. So it is kind of hard to find. One thing we can start with, so Paddy Pimblett did get into an altercation at the, I think it was like in the hotel lobby. It was with Ilia Topuria.
I'm still here.
So he wasn't even fighting this guy, actually. I don't know really what the background. Oh, I think Paddy was dissing his country on Twitter or something like that. So he saw him, and it was just kind of maybe like a on-site type of thing. But it wasn't really like they didn't even fight. Like he just threw a bottle of hand sanitizer at him. Then Paddy was calling him like hand sanitizer boy and everything like that. It made for a good story. And Paddy knows how to stay in the headlines.
100%.
He knows how to stay in the headlines. And
while we're on Paddy, let's talk about him announcing the purse.
Yeah. So
purse is a little.
That was interesting, obviously, because you never really see that. You never really see a UFC
I always thought there was some
fighter
kind of thing where Dana says, yeah, you
don't. Well, like you don't
talk
tell
about
people
that.
how much you like. You don't tell your coworkers how much you make it work. You know what I mean? You don't like tell like anybody really. Like it's just kind of like it's always even if it's not a UFC fighter, like it's always been kind of like a hush hush thing. Like how much you're getting paid really. Like how much is it really? Like I don't know. Like it was weird. Not weird. It's kind of awesome because it really exposed what it really is. But he went on Twitter and exposed what the real fight purse was. He got $12K to show up, $12K to win, and then he got his fight bonus. So $75,000, and so $24,000 to win the fight, $12,000 guaranteed. It's got to be more than that.
That's just not good.
It's got to be more.
Because you got to remember, like, I understand there may be some of you guys thinking to yourself right now, oh, $24,000 to get into a fist fight. Yeah, but you got to realize it's not like these guys roll out of bed one morning and say, okay, today's my fight day. I got to go to the arena and go get in a fight for $24,000. They train very, very hard.
Yeah.
They go to the extremes and everything, diet, nutrition, like just every single aspect of becoming the best fighter you can become. Most of these guys are doing.
Exactly.
And that's not cheap. You got to pay trainers. You got to pay a dietitian. You got to pay a cook. You got to mention everybody.
Not to mention, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. As a fighter, you are paying everybody in your corner to go to your fight. You're paying for their food. You're paying for their hotel. It's like you're fucking like you're like a music music artist. Like you're going on tour. You're paying for everything. You know what I mean? Unless you have a label, but like
it's just nuts because like 24K doesn't stretch as far as like a lot of you guys think with those guys. Because I mean, I don't even understand. Most of those guys in his corner must be doing multiple fighters.
Yeah.
Or doing it almost in hopes that Paddy Pimblett is going to be that next Conor McGregor because.
Right.
I don't know, like 24, it just doesn't stretch. Like if you figure how the fuck are you gonna pay?
He's got
3 or 4 guys when you make 24K and you're gonna walk away with money and have food in your fridge. And as for Paddy Pimblett with the 24K not really stretching, how do you think 75, if that's what he really made off that fight, stretches in perspective? Because quite frankly, I think it definitely helps if you think these guys fight 2 to 3 times a year.
I would say 2 to 3 is average for sure.
Yeah, like definitely. 2 to 3. Like I'm just trying to think, like, because when you're a big name guy, you don't got to fight 2 to 3 times a year,
right?
Unless you're
a champ
defending a title where you're fighting a lot. King of the Hill.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. You figure Paddy fights. Let's say give him the benefit of the doubt. He gets 3 fights in a year. He's a pretty big name guy right now. People want to see him fight, and the UFC definitely wants to make some money off of him.
Right.
Then, I mean, I don't know. Like maybe give the guy 20K to show up. 35K if he wins. That's just a little bit better. That'll put him at 95K. Exactly. And then if he is Paddy the Baddy like he claims to be, then he should be able to get at least one fight bonus there. That puts him at 150 G's a year. I mean, he probably has to. I don't even know, dude. I feel like those guys got to be making at least 200 a year each because you got to be able to put 100 in your pocket and divvy out 100 for travel, living expenses, and just all the other things that you have to pay for when having a fight camp. Like I don't know, fight camp can't be cheap.
It's a rough life to live for not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Until you become that big name guy, but I just want to know what those checks look like when you're a champ.
I don't know.
But I don't know how much Francis Ngannou and all those guys got.
Yeah, and for a guy like Paddy, you got to pay him more because they kind of need him.
Yeah,
and like they don't like. I've been saying this for a while.
The only counter argument is where else is he gonna go? Like, I mean, I don't want to say like this to sound like too opposing of a view, but like if Paddy the Baddy goes to Bellator, I'm gonna say 60% of his fans stop watching. I'm not gonna like because I do this podcast and everything. Right. I'm probably going to tune in, but if I wasn't doing this podcast, Paddy the Baddy loses me as a fan.
Yeah.
That's the fact of the matter for me.
It's definitely true that like if he were to fight in a different organization. The fan base wasn't there. He's got a big deal with Barstool that probably wouldn't be there if he's not fighting in the UFC. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which also the UFC does give him that opportunity to get that deal with Barstool, which is also involved in that counter argument. But personally, I don't think that should have all your endorsements outside of the UFC should not have to do with your UFC pay.
Fighter base pay. Yeah, exactly. Like
it's not like the UFC's the government checking your taxes and how much you're making before they take out this.
Your
like
employer. You know what I mean? Like. The UFC doesn't have someone like him who is like a smooth talking trash talker, like has like these one-liners like off the cusp, like just funny shit that like goes like viral on like Twitter and like Instagram and like social media. Like Like, who do you got? Colby Covington. Like, he's got you just don't. They don't have like a trash.
The guy who ran and hid behind the police when Jorge Masvidal came up to him and fight him. He wants to be the baddest motherfucker. Wants to fucking say he's not gonna run away from anybody. He's big bad tough guy. And then what's he do when Jorge comes up to him and starts fighting him? He literally ran away and got his tooth knocked out.
He's just not. He's not what like. He's not the big draw. You know what I mean? Like
No.
I think too many people hate him. He's too cringy. Like I don't really like him.
Hate
you know what I
only
mean?
brings
Like,
in a certain amount of viewers.
Exactly.
Connor was the perfect mix of both. You either hated him or you
Right.
loved him, but no matter what, you watched him.
But exactly. And it's like the draw if you hate someone is you want to watch them fight because you want to watch them get punched in the face. It's
Yeah.
like it's almost to the point where it's just like I don't even care if Colby Covington's fighting because I don't want to like listen to him fucking like scream like do you know how a bill becomes a law like I don't like
Duh, it sits on Capitol Hill.
duh. You ever watch the fucking video? What's that? What is that?
Schoolhouse
Rock.
Schoolhouse
Schoolhouse
Rock.
Rock. Yeah, those are good ones.
Not to be confused with School of Rock with Jack Black, which is
Not
far
to be
superior.
confused at all. Not to be confused. But yeah, no. The UFC needs him, and they should pay him more. That was my point with that one. Yep.
It's just I want to see what's gonna happen. Also, just a little bit of a not to tie everything all in together, but I mean, kind of weird that Jake Paul was kind of right.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Jake Paul is kind of speaking facts in that aspect. Dana, take care of your guys.
And it's like now it's coming from someone who isn't Jake Paul. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who can't be like easily discredited by a lot of people. You know
And
what I mean?
it's
Like-
also you're never gonna see a big name guy like Connor talk about the UFC not paying him well. UFC's paying him perfectly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
seeing somebody like Paddy who is that like
So
lower than Sean O'Malley right now level,
yep,
but
yeah.
not at the bottom. Like it's I just want
exactly.
I wonder how much those prelim guys are making.
the
dude. That's a whole nother
Funk.
conversation.
They're making nothing, dude. The one thing I did want to talk about, just to be devil's advocate, counter arguments for this. It's Paddy's second fight in the UFC. It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was a fight night. It was a free fight. Yes, it was UFC London. Yes, it was the top grossing fight night ever.
You know what? Actually,
But-
you know what I just realized? Paddy was on the prelims, and to be a prelim fighter,
He wasn't on the prelims.
Yeah,
Not this one.
he was on the main.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm confused
He was,
because
like, the
I was
third
looking
fighter.
at UFC 171 London when I looked at it, and I didn't see him on that main card. Sorry, that's
All
Google's
good.
fault,
No,
not
no,
mine.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, he was on the main card, but it wasn't a
Mark
pay-per-view.
Zuckerberg, I want to fight you.
you
I know Mark
Yep.
Zuckerberg was Facebook, not Google.
Yep. I don't know. I don't like, and like, I'm just saying that to be like bring in the counter argument. I don't necessarily agree. I very much so think that he should be paid more than 12 guaranteed. That's what he's like. At the end of the day, it was 12 guaranteed. If he went in there and lost, he gets $12,000. You know what I mean? I don't know, man.
You go in there and lose, you get a 2012 Honda Civic.
Yeah. And nothing else.
Nothing else.
And not a fucking penny more. Fuck. And the UFC brought in over $1 billion last year.
It's a lot of money.
Decide for yourself. Decide for yourself. Yeah.
And as for covering the actual fights that took place,
Oh my God, there was fights this weekend. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we really honestly just went on this rant about
Like,
Paddy Pimblett.
But it's like it was worth it.
It
Like,
was worth it. It was
It was worth it for sure.
But I mean, just honestly, just for time constraints, let's go to the fights that went on
Yep.
last weekend
Yep.
or this
The-
past weekend.
yesterday.
Yes, which is going to be
Main event was Curtis Blades versus Chris Dawkins.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do that one last, I would say.
I want to just start at
Yep. We can start at Mark Diakiese.
okay.
That was the wait, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
With
So
Borshev.
yeah, one thing actually before this, this was supposed to be the card that Jan Blachowicz was supposed to fight on. I'm spacing on why that got canceled. It was definitely because of the other guy though. This Rakic guy or Rakic. This was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be today. Got canceled though. Moving on. Mark Diakiese. That was an exciting fight. One not memorable, but notable thing that happened. Like, he was not the crowd favorite. This was UFC Columbus, so a lot of the guys were from Columbus or whatever. But he was not the crowd favorite for whatever reason, because the other guy was definitely not from Columbus. Maybe he fights out of Ohio or something. But he, like, got on top of the guy, and the crowd was booing him, and he just started, like, booing back to the crowd. He was like, boo, boo, and he was, like, on top of the guy, like, choking him out. He's like, boo. So that
That's
was
funny.
funny. That was a good fight. He got the win by decision. I don't really got much else for that fight. I'm not sure if you do.
No, that's really all I got for. I mean, I don't really have that much for that fight. That was the most notable thing of the fight was the booing back. But
exactly.
I mean, the next fight being Neil Magni and Max Griffin.
that was interesting.
That was definitely a interesting fight because personally, I think Magni worked his ass. I think Magni kind of beat the piss out of him and showed why he's a ranked fighter.
Yep. Neil Magny.
Max Griffin's no joke either because 8 months ago when he fought, spacing on the name, Carlos Condit. Yes.
Yep.
It was a bloodbath.
Yep.
And Max Griffin won.
Yep.
Carlos Condit is also no joke.
No.
This guy fought
Absolutely
GSP.
not.
This
Absolutely
guy is like a UFC vet.
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
mean, it
Been
was
around a
just-
long time. Has a lot of wins in the UFC for sure.
Basically, what I'm getting at is that should go to show you Neil Magny's skill level,
Yeah,
and that
still
he should
has
really be somebody that just
Still has it
keep
for
an eye
sure.
out on him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No. Yeah. And then he called out Chimaev after, which is like,
Everyone wants to fight Chimaev at this point.
I was gonna say it's like calling out McGregor. Well, honestly, not like I can't say that because
no, but I
because
mean, I know
not a lot of
Chimaev-
people want to fight Chimaev, honestly, because he's a low ranked guy
who's pretty good.
who, if they lose to him, you know what I mean, like it would be like not detrimental, but it would affect their like ranking and career a lot. you
Yeah,
know
it
what
would
I mean?
affect their career.
So yeah, and Chimaev is fighting Gilbert Burns next. So Neil Magny's got a little bit. If Chimaev beats Gilbert Burns, Neil Magny's got basically no shot at fighting him because then Chimaev's gonna fight Usman. Maybe
I was gonna say a title shot,
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if Chimaev. I don't see Chimaev losing, so honestly, that's really honest. I don't even know if that's something I really want to
Usman
get
though,
into.
yeah, no, I don't even want to think about that yet.
I think Chimaev will beat Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
So I think he will fight Usman, but so there's no. I don't know if the chance of him fighting Neil Magny is pretty low, but
Yeah.
it would be an interesting fight. I still think Chimaev would beat Neil Magny's ass.
Oh yeah.
But
Next
following that one up, probably the fight that was the one that we were most attentive to.
that was
all
that was
night,
the, it was
Kai
the
Kara
highlight,
France
highlight for our card at least. Kai Kara France fought Askarov. That guy basically has the same first name and last name.
Yeah.
Just add an OV at the end. No, it was awesome. He was this Askarov is he was ranked number 2 in flyweight, no longer because he lost to Kai Kara France. It was a great fight, and I believe it was
He's a good wrestler.
yeah. Kai Kara France definitely lost the first round, won the second round, I believe, and then the third round was very close. But no, it was an awesome fight.
It was an awesome
It
fight.
was definitely good to see Kai Kara France get the win. I'm a fan of anybody from New Zealand because of Izzy.
I just thought it was also cool in the sense of like Askarov is no joke. He's a
No.
very high level wrestler.
Yep.
And seeing
absolutely.
Kai Kara France defend the wrestling
Yep.
and the grappling the way that he did.
Yep.
And being able to put it into like still a stand up fight from the majority of the fight was stand up, I would say, other than when like Askarov's like on his back like a backpack or like some of like the weird little grappling things that went down.
There was definitely
that
like
he had to get out of
sometimes where like there was a good minute where like Askar was literally like
on his back.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
just
funny.
like on his ass. But like
funny.
I don't know.
That
It
was
was,
a good
cool to
fight.
see Kai Kara France perform the way he did and pick up the W.
Definitely cool to get him.
Next fight.
So Ryan Barbarina versus Matt Brown. This is a banger.
Yeah,
it was
that-
an absolute slugfest.
For a sleeper fight for me, like not expecting that fight to come out as a slugfest the way it was.
Yeah,
That was
Yep.
probably my second favorite fight on the card.
absolutely.
Better
That was
than the
that
main
was a
event.
great fight. That was a great fight.
Matt Brown's an OG.
Facts.
I mean, buddy's got
Facts.
damn near 50 fights.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. It's really
So-
awesome. It's really awesome. Co-main, Alexa Grasso got the win by submission in round 1. Nothing too crazy there. Yeah, for the main event.
Yeah.
Main event of the fight, Curtis Blades versus Chris Dawkins. Curtis Blades absolutely crushed Chris Dawkins. I wouldn't
Mollywop.
say, yeah, I don't know why. I've been saying mollywop lately.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it for like describing a knockout. Just like, I don't know. It's cool. No, it was a pretty competitive fight. It was a good fight to watch. He didn't dominate the whole fight, but no, he knocked him out in violent fashion.
Yeah, 100%.
no.
Was the definitive winner.
Yeah, absolutely. No questions asked. Definitely won the fight.
Yeah.
Second round knockout is definitely good to see Curtis Blades get a win.
Cool to see him also kind of shout out to the crowd to Stipe Miocic and
Yep.
say, hey, dude, I really respect you, and I want to stand
Wanna
at the
be like
top
you."
like you and want to be
Yeah.
like you. And, I mean, Stipe slugs his beer, gives him a
Yep,
thumbs up.
it's awesome.
He's a good guy.
Like I said, it wasn't the typical call out like, "Hey, fuck you." Like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck your mom.
A lot more respect, yeah.
A lot of respect there.
I mean, how could you not respect a guy like
well, I
that?
was
He
gonna
just
say,
signed up to
like,
be a volunteer firefighter in his hometown.
bro, like, that's the thing. Like, you can't say that, like, anything bad is Steve
Fighting
Day,
Francis
dude.
and Ngannou
such a
last
nice
year,
guy.
volunteer firefighter
Yeah.
this year.
Such a nice guy, hometown guy of Ohio. So, yeah, it was great. Definitely great to see that.
Joe Burrow also was present at the fight.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was there
Another
too.
Ohio
definitely,
native.
Definitely cool to see that. Definitely a lot of Ohio native celebrities. It's cool that, like, not only when the UFC goes to a specific city or state, they could try to load up the card with a lot of fighters from that area, but they also, like, bring in or either attract or purposely bring in a lot of celebrities from that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You always see
cool to
different
see him.
guys. Yeah.
I mean, I remember we were watching, and you just go, Joe Burrow.
Yeah. He was just in, like, the background of his shot. I was like, hey, Joey Burrow.
Yeah, Joey B.
Cool.
Pretty sweet.
Cool. It's cool, man. But yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up
Yeah.
there, and I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed the 5th episode of the 5 City Podcast.
Yeah,
We
really-
enjoyed bringing it to you.
Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it for still listening. And yeah.
Definitely have
you
some
next
cool stuff to talk about next week, and
Yes.
just a little
Little
hint,
teaser.
it's a teaser to what's gonna be talked about next week. Outer Banks
North
bass
Carolina.
fishing,
Bass
and
fishing.
the possibility of bass fishing the Virginia State record lake for largemouth
Just
bass.
Remembering that part now.
Yes, I'm just remembering that part right now too, because we were talking about. Well, you know what?
You know what? We'll
Tune
talk
in next
about it on
week
the
to
next
talk
time.
about it.
That piqued your interest? You'll like the next episode.
Yep.
So, sounds good. Really appreciate it, though. Seriously.
Peace out, guys. That was the perfect way to end it.
Yeah,
We were like, yo, what? Actually, tune in next week and you can hear about what we're about to talk about.